Today we're talking about one of the strangest buses ever built in Australia, a machine so ambitious that even modern engineers would stare at it for 5 minutes and quietly whisper, "Who approved this?" Meet the 1945 Dyson Landliner Bus, a 6-wheeled rolling experiment from down under that looked like somebody mixed a luxury train, a science fiction truck, and a politician's impossible campaign promise into one enormous vehicle. And honestly, I love it. Because back in the 1940s, while most companies were busy trying to survive wartime shortages, Dyson's Peninsula Motors decided to build a futuristic luxury bus with twin V8 engines and hydraulic steering. That's not confidence. That's Australian-level confidence. The story of the Dyson Landliner began in Frankston, Australia, during the final years of World War II. Dyson's Peninsula Motors Ltd operated tourist and passenger services between Melbourne and coastal areas. But wartime pressures changed everything. Their buses suddenly became military workhorses, hauling troops between bases day and night. Passenger demand exploded. Fuel and materials were limited, and operators needed vehicles capable of carrying far more people than conventional buses of the era. Australia had already experimented with articulated tractor-trailer buses during the 1920s and 1930s because they were easier and quicker to build than full-size coaches. These combinations also allowed operators to stretch the trailer section for additional seating capacity. Dyson's management wanted something better. They imagined a bus that looked streamlined and modern instead of a clumsy truck dragging a passenger box behind it. The result was the Landliner, introduced around 1945 as a radical experiment in passenger transport. The concept replaced the normal truck-style front end with a hydraulically articulated front bogie carrying 2 Ford Flathead V8 engines mounted side by side. Even by today's standards, that sentence sounds slightly insane. The idea itself was inspired partly by earlier American experiments like the Santa Fe Trailways Victoryliner, another giant articulated bus known for massive passenger capacity and unusual steering system. But the Australians pushed the concept even further. The Landliner featured a 4-wheel steering bogie beneath the front section of the coach. Hydraulic steering systems controlled the arrangement, while a steel visual marker helped the driver understand wheel orientation. Without it, steering the giant machine was apparently like trying to guide a crocodile through a supermarket parking lot. Only one confirmed Landliner was believed to have been completed, although some reports suggest several may have existed briefly in limited operation. The first version was intended as a luxury coach seating about 30 passengers, though later standard versions were expected to carry as many as 60 people. The luxury approach was remarkable for post-war Australia. The Landliner reportedly featured reclining airline-style seats, carpeted floors, onboard refrigeration, tea service, snack hosting, a toilet, and even an observation cabin. Basically, it was the business-class lounge of the highway. Technically, the Landliner was fascinating and deeply complicated. The twin Ford Flathead V8 engines powered the front bogie through separate 4-speed transmissions connected together in one linkage system. Each engine worked beside the other, theoretically delivering the power needed to move the enormous 45-foot-long machine, equivalent to roughly 13.7 meters. The design distributed weight differently from traditional buses and eliminated the bulky prime mover usually found in articulated coaches. The driver sat centrally inside the cab for maximum visibility, which sounds futuristic until you realize he also had responsibility for controlling 2 engines that did not always behave identically. The design philosophy behind the Dyson Landliner was genuinely ahead of its time. In the mid-1940s, most buses still looked functional and boxy, built with all the elegance of military storage crates. The Landliner instead embraced streamlining, passenger comfort, and futuristic engineering. Its smooth bodywork attempted to reduce visual bulk while presenting a modern image to travelers arriving from Melbourne. Australia wanted progress after the hardships of war, and this machine looked like optimism on 6 wheels. Even the interior concept sounded luxurious for the era. Compared with conventional buses of the period, the Landliner was both brilliant and impractical. Traditional coaches were simpler, cheaper, and easier to repair. Mechanics already understood them, spare parts existed, and drivers knew how they behaved. The Dyson experiment demanded specialized maintenance and enormous patience. The twin-engine setup alone introduced complexity most transport companies wanted to avoid. Overseas, articulated buses had already proven useful for high-capacity transport, but many operators preferred conventional tractor-trailer arrangements because they were easier to adapt and repair. The West Australian Government Railways still became interested enough to order 2 similar vehicles known as the Cheetahs. Unfortunately, those buses suffered similar steering problems and were quickly rebuilt into more traditional articulated coaches using Foden prime movers. That decision alone tells you everything. Neighbour Bob insists the government hid it in an underground tunnel with UFO technology. Financially, the Landliner remains difficult to value because so little documentation survived. Original construction costs were never widely published, though creating such an advanced custom machine during wartime shortages would have been extremely expensive. In modern currency, the development cost would likely equal hundreds of thousands of dollars, possibly far more when accounting for engineering complexity and hand-built construction. Given the rarity and bizarre engineering, a restored Landliner could easily become one of the most valuable historic buses in Australia if rediscovered. And honestly, despite the flaws, we have to admire the courage behind this machine. The Dyson Landliner was built by dreamers willing to gamble on innovation during one of the toughest periods in modern history. It may not have transformed public transportation, but it proved that bold engineering ideas existed long before computers and corporate focus groups started sucking all the weirdness out of vehicle design. Today, most buses look identical, like accountants designed them during a sad lunch break. The Landliner looked like the future arriving at full speed while slightly arguing with itself mechanically.